Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Flex and Reflect Sunday Sit Down. This is where I sit down and answer all the questions that have been sent in, asked through the week around health, fitness, mindset, nutrition, and let's get into it. So I'll try and answer, well, I've got 8 questions to answer here today, and we'll just keep going till they're all done. Hopefully get that done in 15 minutes or so as my cat Whiskers is going bananas in the background. So I'm looking over here to the side because this is where I've got the questions written down. First one, how do you assess the effectiveness of a wellness routine over time? Yeah, good question. I mean, I've been training myself for 36 years now, and the way that I started my training is different to what it is now. I have different definitions of what success looks like for me now than it did in the past. Some things remain the same, but as we go through life, we go through each week, there are different challenges that we face, and so my definitions are really have varied over time. So for me, the effectiveness is it depends on where you're coming from. I'll start with there. I mean, a lot of the clients that I work with are wanting to improve their health and get into a healthy lifestyle. So I'll talk about how the effectiveness of that is measured in a moment. And then there are those people that want to lose weight. So if somebody is on a big journey, so I have clients that need to lose over 100 kilos. So that's over 220 pounds, depending on where you are listening to this in the world. And so obviously over time, we want to be seeing that they're effectively coming down. Now, if they're going up, then clearly there is something that's not right with the plan, what it is that they're doing, etc., the accountability that's in place, it's just not working. So if somebody's progressively coming down, then that can be obviously a measure of success. But where I like to start with people to see that their program is being effective is when I start to see that their lifestyle has changed. So they've got the healthy habits of eating. Where I like to program most of my clients is around 5 to 6 meals a day. That's breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and three snacks, making sure that the protein is right. The plant-based food is right, the high-energy carbs are right, the fats are right, etc. I tell people exactly what it is to eat. So that's one. They're drinking more water. They're becoming more regular in terms of their like cardiovascular training. Their sleeping patterns are improving. I hear them talk about their energy is better, their focus is better. It's not difficult for them to stick with the meal plan because I've taught them how they can make changes and so forth, and continually to grow their mindset. So make sure that whatever they're doing for their health and wellness is also working outside of that space. And what I mean by that is, let's take career-wise, whether they're working for somebody, running their own business, they're becoming more effective, they're more focused, they're continuing to grow themselves. So whether that's something to do with their business or their career, or it's something else, but they're continuing to grow every single day. They're strengthening relationships, they're having more fun in their life. All of those types of things, for me, are a measure of what it is that you're doing for your wellness is being effective. The byproduct of those things is things like I said before, your weight loss and your say other medical conditions improving and that kind of stuff. So for me, that's where I would start, really embedding those healthy habits for you. And then you'll find that the other things that you want to achieve are going to be byproducts of getting those things right. So that's a short answer to that one. Next question. What are some advanced techniques for managing stress that go beyond basic mindfulness and meditation? Well, I refer to what I just said. If you are feeling more in control of the healthy lifestyle habits, and you really hone in on those. And where a big shift for me came is in 2 areas. One, I moved from a 5-day mindset to a 7-day mindset. So making sure that I did those things 7 days a week. I don't drink alcohol or smoke or take drugs or do anything like that. But if they are aspects of your life, remove them from your life. Definitely cut them down, use a staged approach, but none of those things I mentioned are actually any good for your health. So apart from red wine's got some health benefits and stuff, but generally I would say, look, if you can, eliminate them from your life. You really don't need them. Energy drinks are another one. Those like fizzy drinks and stuff with high sugar contents and so forth. Eliminate them from your life if you can. That will also help you in, managing your stress and so forth. But if you find that you get that good base of foundation, strength training 3 times, depending on where you're at, I'm generalizing here, but 3 days a week, doing some cardio work every single day. For me, I aim to just do some walking. So along with a structured walk as well as incidental walking, I try and get 10,000 steps in a day. I try and get in 3 liters of water a day. For most adults, it's about 2.6 liters. I get a little bit more, making sure that you're sleeping well. We usually say 6 to 8 hours, 1 day a week. So today being Sunday, I normally get over 7. That's my peak of sleep for the week. The older that I get, I find that I need closer to the 7, which means going to bed a bit earlier and trying, because I have early starts, and trying to get that 6.5 to 7 hours sleep. That's a good one. Making sure that, like I said before about the food, making that really a priority, focusing on getting more plant food into your diet, the right amount of protein, all that kind of stuff. And they, for me, are the fundamentals. You get that right, and you start to find that you feel less stressed because you're more in control. You can think better, and if you can remove that brain fog that brain fog from your head, then you'll find that you'll be more focused with that other aspects that I talked to there about your healthy lifestyle. You'll find you'll have more energy and you can get more things done. The other big change for me is about doing something for you every single day. All right. So for me, it's a simple thing, but we tend not to do it. And I'm talking about here not scrolling through Facebook or TikTok or Reels and things like that. I'm talking about taking time out for you to relax. And if you say, oh, well, that's really relaxing, I want you to find something else. Okay. So find something that's going to relax you, whether it's doing some mindfulness stuff, listening to some music, closing your eyes, whether it's planning out the next day, doing it in a way that is kind of relaxing, I suppose. I find that relaxing. Doing some reading of something that you really enjoy, but it's also going to grow you. So it's a slight shift in your mindset. Work on things that are going to grow you, but at the same time, that shifts your mind to a different place, and it can be relaxing at the same time. Okay. How can you balance the demands of a high stress job with maintaining optimal health? Okay, again, I would say refer to the things that I just said. Like, honestly, we all have a great degree of stress in our life, but if you are taking time out, you're focusing on your health. I think a lot of the time when I'm working with clients and executives and people that are running successful businesses, their health goes on the back burner because there's a crisis in the business in this moment, and they drop everything to fix that. They put their health as a secondary or third priority, and they do everything that they do to fix the business and the problem, and then you just become in that sort of transactional cycle of fixing those things, as opposed to focusing on the transformational thing, which is your health, and knowing that, well, if you focused on that, you would be more effective at doing those other things and making better decisions in your business, and other decisions that you make in your life would just run so much more smoothly. So that would be the short answer to that one. Just take the time out for yourself and reflect on the things that I've already said so far on this recording. Next question. Okay, this is a good question. What are the benefits and potential risks of incorporating Olympic lifting into your strength training program? So what I absolutely hate is seeing all these videos on, it's normally on Instagram, TikTok, things like that, where people are doing, like in CrossFit, doing your clean and jerks and overhead squats and things like that. Very, very complicated moves, very dangerous, and people learn them off these videos. Now, you can watch someone do it, and what I see more of is people failing in them, as in like they drop the weight, they fall backwards, they faint, lifting too much weight, all that kind of stuff. Very, very, very dangerous. So I would say if you want to incorporate those lifts into your strength training, I'd firstly ask why. Like, because you've seen it on a video and you want to be able to do it, like why? Like, they're very dangerous. They put your shoulders particularly under a lot of stress, your back, your knees, a lot of stress. But let's just say that it's important for you to do it for whatever reason. Find the best Olympic lifting coach that you can and go to them. That's the short answer. Okay. Don't just go to a personal trainer. Like, I don't teach my clients how to do them. I could, but I don't, because normally the age of my clients, the average age of my clients is 41, 42 years of age. And I'd say, why would you want to do that? Like, what's the benefit? There is more risk in doing that lift than doing it, right? Than the reward in doing it. But I say, if you want to do it, find an Olympic lifting coach and go there, and do nothing more than a stick. I'm talking like a broom to start with, until you get it perfect. And the coach tell you, right, now it's time to go to the bar, right? Because it's just not worth it. That is the simple answer on that. And I am not the Olympic coach to be coming to for that. You find somebody like a power lifter. Well, even yet, it's not a powerlifting move, right? It's an Olympic move. So you find a club and you go there, right? But I would just say, don't do them. Don't do them. You don't need to do them. Next question. How can you safely increase the intensity of your strength training workouts without risking injury? So, and look, another good question. I see people fail in the gym for a couple of reasons, similar to what I just said before, doing things like those Olympic lifts. They don't have the right form. They go too heavy, too fast, and they injure themselves by dropping the weight on themselves. You've probably all seen the videos. They're horrible. So one of the ways to do it is you've really got to map out what your program looks like. Now, the way that I do it effectively for myself and do it for my clients, particularly the ones that are more athletic or way more focused, is I do 12-week training blocks. And then you break that down into 3 4-week training blocks. And then you've got a 4-week training block, and you break that down into 4 1-week training blocks. And then we're into a week. So I normally get most of my athletes to do 3 sessions a week. It depends on what they're doing. If they're in season, they might only do 2 because of how how busy the in season is, and vice versa. But let's stick with 3. So then we have a week of 3 workouts. So every single workout has a different focus. And so then what we want to do, so the way that I do it for myself, I train one lot of muscle groups once a week across the different workouts. So today, for instance, I did legs. I just do legs today, and I go as heavy as I can and manage. And then, so what I'm comparing to is that next week's workout in 7 days' time. I then say, okay, what did I lift on that last weight? So for instance, if I take today's to next week, I'll be looking to increase my leg press, double leg press, by 5 kilos. That's what I'll be looking to increase by next week. Okay. My single leg press, I'll be looking to increase by 2.5 kilos. Okay. And then from that 3rd week, same thing. I'll be looking at 5 kilos, 2.5 kilos extra on that leg press, right? And then in the next week after that, so I'm working right now in the 10 to 12 repetition range. We're now into that 2nd training block of, so week 5 to 8. So now what we do is we continue to try and progress at that same rate, or we want to increase by at least 250 grams from 1 week to the next. Okay. And now we're cutting down from 8 to 10 reps. Okay. We do that for 4 weeks, looking to progress every single one. We then get to the last 12 weeks. Last 4 weeks. So 9 to 12. Same thing, at least 250 grams. We're now working 6, no less than 6, no more than 8 reps. Okay. And then once that 12 weeks is done, you should find that you should be recording them all so that you can see you're steadily increasing every single time. If you're not increasing, it means, and you're still obviously looking after your body, so you don't go too heavy too quickly. We're just going small increments, so at least 250 grams. If you're not progressing, then it's got something to do with your sleep and your food and mindset, right? You're distracted, you got a lot of stress in your life, something like that. And then at the end of the 12 weeks, you have a week off. Okay, no strength training. You still do your healthy eating, you're still doing your cardio training and so forth, but no more intense than you normally would. Next week after that, you get back into the gym and you're just effectively having some fun, doing maybe some workouts you haven't done before. And now we're not focusing on weight, we're focusing on just getting a pump. And then the week after, you get back into week 1, same thing, 10 to 12 reps. And you go back to the very beginning, but you're not starting where you did at week 1. Let's say you started at, I said about 145 kilos that I did today on my leg press. So I'd be looking to start at 147.5. And then you progress the same way. So by the end of the 12 weeks, you're heavier than you peak at the previous 12 weeks. Okay. And you just progress like that. And you do it safely. You don't do stupid increases, right? Because that's how you will get the injury. And then making sure that you're doing the recovery, you're fueling yourself properly, making sure you're taking in plenty of protein and plant-based food and high energy food at the right times. So I'm just going to have a drink. And creatine's another good way to cycle through your training as well. All right, next question. All right, how can someone, pardon me, optimize their nutrition to support both muscle gain and fat loss simultaneously? Yeah, so I guess there's a myth that people say that I've got to bulk up first and then I'm going to, reduce the fat. For me, it comes down to nutrient timing. So you can still do the same type of training. So that if you want to gain muscle, whether this is going to be bad news for you or not, you need to lift heavy weights, right? The only way you're going to gain muscle, you need to keep, like referring to that last question, you've got to keep pushing your body, pushing your muscles. I've been training for 36 years. It's harder, and because of my age, it's harder for me to gain muscle now than it was when I was like 36 years ago. It's just harder because the testosterone levels, drop off. And because I've been training for so long, my muscles are used to being under that amount of stimulus. So in order for me to get change, it means I've got to continuously put my muscles under that force and keep pushing and keep hitting from different angles and keep increasing weight. And then that means making sure that I'm really focused on my food as well. So the training is the hard part. Oh, sorry, the training is the easy part. The food's the hard part. But you've got to keep putting yourself into that pain zone, not injury pain, but muscle pump, and keep fatiguing it. And then it really just comes down to the nutrient timing. So if you're trying to lose fat as well as gain muscle at the same time, which is what we all should be doing, then what you need to do is, like, it's harder to answer in detail in the amount of time that I here, because it's a complicated programming. But essentially what I do is I focus the biggest change for me is around the high energy carbohydrates. So things like rice, grains, pastas, breads, that kind of stuff. And I have like this 3-hour window around my workout where I will get in those high energy carbohydrates. And then outside that 3-hour window, I don't eat them. Okay, so if I'm not working out, then I don't have, say, rice, for instance. With the meal, I'll just have, say, my protein, and I'll have my plant food, excluding potato, right? And that's the way that I do it. Now, if you want a detailed plan around that, then you can go to the link that I'll put below this video. Or you go to mentaltoughnessandbodyshow.com. You can opt in for a free consultation there as well, and we can have a conversation about it in more detail. But it all comes down to the nutrient timing, making sure you're taking in enough protein, getting in the right amount of fats, making sure that your calories are right for you as well. And then it's just getting those other things right. So doing a little bit of your cardio training, but it's nothing excessive. It's really just some slight changes to get the slight change. So like slight change in your food to get the slight change in you that you can maintain for a longer period of time. No, like drastic changes to your food or anything like that, because that just doesn't work. So if I want to go from where I am now to, say, my peak condition, for me it's about 2 to 3 kilo shift. That's it. None of these, you see some of these pro bodybuilders that are like they're taking steroids and all kinds of things. They could have like a 20-kilo swing from off season to their peak. To me, that's just really, really unhealthy. So we want to do it in a healthy way. Okay. What are the pros? Two more questions. What are the pros and cons of diets like intermittent fasting, keto, plant-based diets for strength athletes? Well, okay, so there's a lot in that question to answer quickly. The word diet probably says it all, right? If you're on a diet, then it's going to fail for you. We need to have a healthy lifestyle. Sorry, I got itchy nose. We need to have a healthy lifestyle. And there's some people. I don't know anyone that has intermittent fasting as a permanent part of their lifestyle. I find that most people will do it for a period of time in their life because of they're wanting to achieve a weight loss goal or whatever perceived benefits that they believe that has. I would say in some ways we all do some intermittent fasting because what we do is we tend to eat by last meal by like 6:30 to 8:30, something like that. And then most of us are sleeping. We don't eat from 8:30 to then you go to bed and you get up and maybe it's 6, 7 a.m. Well, you fasted through that whole period of time, right? So we're not eating continuously through that period of time. So in some ways, we're all doing some intermittent fasting. It's just that some people do it more radically than others. Look, and there are different arguments on this. And keto, same. I mean, I don't like keto because it removes certain nutrients from and food groups from your body, and to me, that's not sustainable. Plant-based foods, like I'm an advocate for getting more plant-based foods into your diets. For my vegan and vegetarian clients, they are the most challenging in terms of getting the right nutrients. I find that more women are more likely to be vegan or vegetarian. And so getting enough iron into them. Any vegan or vegetarian needs to be way more focused on their nutrient intake than most other people, just because they're eliminating meat products, which are high in iron and protein and so forth. So they just need to be really focused in other ways. And there's normally more meal preparation time for a vegetarian or vegan as well. I won't go into the details why, but it's just that most of their meals you can't really freeze because of the foods that they're made of. So that becomes a challenge. So for me, the way that I like to fuel my athletes and my clients is around the 6 meals a day, and like getting the nutrients right for every single meal. Okay, last question. How can you effectively navigate social situations and travel while maintaining a strict nutritional plan? All right, so I guess in answering that question, I don't like the word strict nutritional plan, but again, I'm all about healthy lifestyle. Now, when you travel, I find this myself when I travel, it's more difficult. Now, for the next 2 days, I am with my coach. I'm away from home, away from my normal food. And so what does that mean? It means that I could just go out and buy all my meals and that kind of stuff. But instead, I just go very, very prepared. So I've got containers with my protein powder in it. I've got my snacks. I've got some almonds in a little container, all with screw up lids so that they can't pop off and that kind of stuff. I'm taking my lunch for the 2 days. I'm just very, very prepared, making sure I've got the right sort of drink bottle for my water, because I'll be in a conference type facility for a couple of days. So I want to make sure that I stay hydrated. I won't be getting as much natural light and that kind of stuff. I will be going to getting out for my walks and doing an early morning workout as well while I'm staying where I'm staying. And so that's really important. So I think the important factor is if you are traveling and you've got a social situation. Let's say it's a social situation. Say it's like today, it's Sunday, and you're going out for lunch. Well, you can look ahead of time and say, well, where are you going? What are the healthy options that you can get? And what I normally do is that, let's say it was a salad and it was a chicken salad. Ask for the dressing on the side so that you can then control how much dressing it has. If, let's just say it's a chicken parma, then maybe see if you can get like a chicken breast instead. If it's a well, if it is say a chicken parma, then what, and chips. So see if you can get a baked potato. See if you can get vegetables instead. Is there something else that you can do rather than your crumbed chicken parma, or is it, is there a better alternative there? If you're traveling, try and travel with with your snacks and so forth that you can. When I go to the US, that's more challenging to be able to do that. But I just look for the healthier options, right? Wherever I'm going, I just make sure that I'm still getting in plenty of plant-based food. I ask for dressings on the side. I make sure I don't overeat. I'm making sure that I'm sticking to as close as possible to the food that I'm eating when I'm at home. And water is the other key one, making sure that you're drinking lots and lots of water while you are traveling and out socially. Again, if you're out socially, avoid the breads, avoid the alcohol, avoid the fizzy drinks and fruit juices and that kind of stuff. Stick to water, and yeah, just be strong enough to handle the social pressure that you can get. People always have a go at what it is that I'm eating because I've been doing it for so long, so it doesn't particularly bother me. But I get that that can bother some people. So you've got to, I guess, have a conversation ready for that. If people are saying, "Hey, why aren't you eating this?" or "Don't you like my food?" or whatever. So you've just got to be ready to, have that conversation, but continuously focus on the healthy lifestyle, not diets and strict nutritional plans. That just to me just sounds tough. And I'd say if you're saying that to yourself, then already you're putting yourself in the back foot because you're saying, I follow this strict diet or this strict nutritional plan. It's like, just make it part of your healthy lifestyle. Otherwise, just like the question around intermittent fasting and keto and stuff, it's going to fall over at some point. And we want to be able to do these things forever. All right. So that's me out for this week. Thanks, everybody, for those questions this week. And I will see you next time.